Rifftrax. I don't have a Rifftrax, but riffs I'm missing. Why you always gotta pick Rifftrax? It's your lucky day, it's time for Rifftrax.
Hello, I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And welcome to episode 30 of every Rifftrax short reviewed, where I take 5 Rifftrax shorts in chronological order, review them, and give them a rating between 1 and 5, with the points being good, great, awesome, fantastic, and spectacular, because I don't think a bad Rifftrax short exists. It's hard to believe that we're going to be hitting our 150th short today, yet another milestone in this series, so let's not waste any time and dive right into episode 30 of every Rifftrax short reviewed. Number 146, Eggs to Market, from August 12th, 2011.
You can sort them into different sizes. Extra large, the heaviest, large, medium, and small, the lightest.
Why anyone would ever want or need small eggs, we have no idea. But hey, some people out there are buying store-brand cereal too, and that stuff tastes like an old sleeping bag, so that shows what we know.
I believe most of us are familiar with the short The Chicken of Tomorrow from Mystery Science Theater. Well, if after watching that you wanted less about the actual chicken farming and much, much more about the fascinating world of egg processing, Rifftrax is here to help.
An egg farm like this one.
Hides many a dead body.
Using a scoop, he feeds them twice a day.
If the scoop ever breaks down, everyone starves.
Grains and vitamins. The farmer uses his motor-driven cart to collect the eggs several times a day, while they're still very fresh.
How fresh are they?
Still sticky with mucus and occasionally blood.
Never mind.
In a tragic and messy display of hubris, the farmer decides to see if his cart can go down a small flight of stairs.
This is called to inspect eggs without touching them. They remove the eggs that are not perfect.
Eggs with cracks, dents, or mysterious racist messages scrawled on their shells. Within 6 months, any body part this light shone on had rotted away. Replacement workers were quickly hired and lied to.
We're treated to a dull tour of an egg processing plant where we watch machines sorting eggs, cleaning eggs, separating eggs, pretty much all you can do with eggs aside from actually cooking them. The only remotely interesting thing about the short in and of itself is the really bizarre music played throughout.
A moving belt takes them to the washing machine.
Do we have any ridiculously ill-fitting music for such a mundane task? We certainly do. Oh, yeah.
If an egg is missing from a carton, the machine stops automatically.
Never to start again.
A red...
The eggs grow restless. There's hushed talk of a riot.
One moving belt carries the closed cartons to this worker.
This bitter, desperate worker.
Another belt takes the wire...
Yeah, I studied clarinet at Berkeley. Punched my conductor once, now I'm doing egg council shorts.
This machine is called the machine that moves eggs from one machine to another machine.
But, what does it do?
Inside the machine, this comb helps separate the eggs into white...
Oh my God, they separated the narrator!
Research has shown that eggs stay fresher when exposed to the dullest music in the world.
Breakfast, we've got...
I know what you've got!
Early in the morning, many skilled workers, using many different kinds of machines, make it possible for us to eat fresh eggs every day.
Which is why we'll feel justified in beating you ungrateful little bastards if you ever turn your nose up at eggs again.
Another Rifftrax short everyone should take a crack at. I'm giving this one a 4 out of 5.
The eggs are automatically placed, 6 at a time, into cartons.
Where do cartons come from? I'm glad you asked. So let's travel to Hanston, Kansas and tour a carton-making facility.
Number 147, A Boy of Mexico, Juan and His Donkey, from August 16th, 2011.
Juan and his father are going to gather wood today to sell in the village.
Because as the proverb goes, give a man wood, he'll build a fire for a day. But teach a man to gather wood, and he will likely die in poverty, perhaps in debtor's prison.
This short gives us exactly what the title promises, a boy of Mexico named Juan and his donkey Pepito. While out in the unforgiving Mexican heat collecting wood with his father, Juan meets a stranger whose cars run out of gas. Pro tip, if you know you're going to be driving through Mexico in literally any capacity, make sure you have enough gas as your life may depend on it. Anyway, Juan and his donkey help the man by rushing to their little village to grab some gasoline for him, and we get a glimpse into the everyday life of the natives.
I don't always watch educational shorts, but when I do, I prefer Coronet.
This morning, Juan is leaving the village with his donkey Pepito.
The other villagers cast them out for their unspeakable crimes.
This is Juan's father.
The grim look of a man who's about to kill a donkey.
It is a stranger. He seems to be having trouble with his car.
The donkey that pulls it has died.
In front of the village church, some women are quietly talking.
So I says to Lupe, Yo, Lupe, get off your fat ass and get a job!
Very carefully, he takes out the money for the gasoline.
If not handled carefully, the money could explode.
Juan is very proud. So far, he has done very well.
Until...
Dun, dun, dun!
If you saw my reaction to MST3K Season 11's The Beast of Hollow Mountain episode, you know that as a half-Mexican myself, I find jokes about Mexican stereotypes among the funniest things in the world, and this short gives us plenty of them, including a good bit of dark humor, which I also really appreciate.
Then Father calls to Juan, "Let us rest here for a while.
Come, son, stereotypes need reinforcing."
It is cool in the shade of the tree.
A brisk 97 degrees.
Ah, how happy Juan is today. He can be with Pepito because it is vacation time, and there is no school.
Pepito is the town's math
Juan
teacher.
and his father know... Buenos dias. Buenos dias.
Well, let's get to the beheading.
Gracias. Thank you, says the stranger.
Who is definitely not a
Which is
drug
the way
lord.
to the nearest village. He picks up Father's machete.
Oh, God,
his
no!
knife, and offers to help him gather the wood.
Dad, run!
And now it is afternoon.
Father's remains broil in the sun.
It is late and I have a long way to drive.
Gotta put down a peasant revolt in the next village. Thanks for your help.
Here is something for helping me.
It's fried ants. Go on, they're delicious.
For me, says Juan. Money? For me?
Nah, they're fake.
The riff of this short makes me proud of my heritage, and I've got to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Hasta luego, Juan.
Juan will be back in A Man of Mexico, Juan and his bloody cartel.
Number 148, One Turkey, Two Turkey, from August 19th, 2011.
10 turkeys, 9 turkeys, 8 turkeys, 7 turkeys.
This is Casey Kasem, and we're counting down America's top 10 turkeys.
After the ABCs, what's the most basic of concepts that a young child must learn? Why, counting, of course! And obviously the best way to teach a child how to count from 1 to 10 isn't through puppets or books or even cartoons, but a nonsensical musical short about turkeys doing absolutely nothing but being turkeys.
ACI Films, punching non-refundable tickets to madness since day one.
It was the best of turkeys. It was the worst of turkeys.
3, 4.
Did I miss something? Should we be holding our breath, or...?
Count with us to 10.
All right, I'll just,
What the hell?
Warm them up with a little counting, then bam, drop them in the turkey pit. That's how you make a movie. Oh God, the kazoo is filling them with rage. Their thirst for blood is unquenchable. All hope is lost.
Turkeys in the sun. Turkeys having fun.
Fun? Waiting for death in a cramped holding pen is fun?
hey man, don't knock it till you tried it.
1 turkey, 2 turkeys, 3 turkeys, 4.
See? So much fun. Cages you can't stand in are a total blast.
Turkeys, 10 turkeys. Gobble when they talk.
Big fans of Peter Falk.
Turkeys all around.
Stupid turkey sounds. Yeah, you know you've made a good children's short when the exact same footage, with different narration, would make a disturbing animal rights film.
In my Rifftrax Thanksgiving special last year, I covered this short and stated that I can't understand how it even came to be. It's almost 10 months later and I still feel that way. Whether it's the use of ACI's bizarre resources or just an idea someone came up with while high and drunk, this short will forever be among the great Rifftrax enigmas.
All of these turkeys strongly endorse Charlie Brown style of Thanksgiving dinner.
More buttered toast and jelly beans.
Ah, everybody run! Kevin Smith just placed his holiday order!
I regret molting.
Mosh pit!
The sole takeaway from the short remains turkeys hate kazoos, which means they're far more intelligent than people in jug bands.
Yes, back in the pioneer days, turkey stampedes took out whole villages, killed hundreds. Apparently this was directed by Benny Hill.
Turkeys in the sun.
They really smell.
Turkeys having fun.
They stink like hell.
Turkeys on the run.
They'll soon be dead
Turkeys one by one.
and stuffed with bread.
Hobble when they talk.
Scream as they die.
Wobble when they walk.
I'll take a
See
thigh.
them as they strut around.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Elton John.
Thanks to these turkeys, I can count high enough to give this one a 4.5 out of 5.
5 turkeys, 6 turkeys, 7 turkeys more.
Look, if there's a better, less insane way to teach kids to count to 10, okay, there definitely is, but we're not going to bother finding out what it would be.
Number 149. We discover the dictionary from August 23rd, 2011.
First, Paul checked the tabs.
I'm starting to think these kids have discovered the
tabs
dictionary
show the section of
before.
the
Yeah, what a
dictionary and
sham!
All the words.
There's nothing that gets the blood pumping like a dictionary usage tutorial. After a sergeant teaches their class about bicycle safety, 3 children decide to write him a thank you letter. You know, from back when people still did that. When they realize they've made a few mistakes, they head to the dictionary as well as their teacher, who seems to have absolutely no concern for other students, to help them finish it.
Sergeant Leland gave me some pamphlets for the class. They were about bicycle safety.
The erotic illustrations were a
Then he
surprise.
left to visit another class.
Have fun completing your court-mandated
While I
service.
was giving out Jim thought it might be a good idea to write him a letter.
And also to play
Thanking him for
Squint
talking
in
with
the
us.
Sandlot.
Jim, and Jean, and Paul.
My only 3 literate students. I'm not much of a teacher.
Dear Sergeant Leland,
We're
thank you
using the
very
pamphlets
much
you
for your
left
talk
as
on
rolling
bicycle
papers.
safety.
She thought the word sergeant wasn't spelled correctly.
She dashed to an internet comment section to point out this noob mistake.
Paul began looking for the word sergeant, going from word to word and column to column.
Days became weeks.
You can look at the guide words at the top of the page.
Common
You see,
terms like
the first
saline
guide
dome
word is
and
the same as the
saltness.
first word on the page.
It is much faster, isn't it?
I hate sand words. They're coarse and they get everywhere.
I told them that both spellings are acceptable.
And that there's
But
nothing
whether
wrong
there's
with
more
being
than one
unmarried at
spelling
my
shown in the
age, damn it.
S-E-R-G-E-A-N-T.
Haven't covered eraser use yet.
There.
As someone who likes to try and be as efficient as I can, though granted I often fail at this, it is a bit frustrating to see the teacher not just teach them all of the uses for the dictionary at once, and also see these kids go back and forth between finding mistakes and checking the dictionary instead of figuring out all the problems at once and then looking it up. A massive nitpick, I know, but it would have saved Cornet, and by extension us, a whole lot of time if they'd just tackled this in a more organized manner.
Jean didn't like that part.
Well, that's a surprise.
Fair. I don't think it's right. Yes, it is.
They're the Sid
No,
and
it's
Nancy
not.
of the class.
Fair means like it should be spelled F-A-R-E, I think.
Paul, when will you learn you're too dumb to say your ideas out
The
loud?
bus.
That it might be easier to find the word in one of the smaller dictionaries on my desk.
I had enjoyed watching them suffer for long enough.
These dictionaries might help them to solve their writing problem more quickly.
Or they could be used as effective weapons if they decided to resolve their differences by combat.
Second, how to spell words.
Answer, wait
If more
4
than one
decades for
spelling is
autocorrect
given,
and
the
trust
first
it
one is usually
implicitly.
preferred.
I guess fair means a lot of things.
The dictionary is a moral relativist.
It means just, honest, as in fair play.
Or in weird homoerotic play.
It means average, not bad.
The Minnesota ideal.
It says to obey all offici.
Jim was revealed as a malfunctioning robot that
He
day.
wasn't sure how. I explained that after most words in the dictionary, there is a phonetic or sound spelling of the word that tells how the word is pronounced.
I assured him that no one in the world knows how to use it.
Down E means.
Now that we've discovered this short, I can give it a 3.5 out of 5.
And we had learned all these things by writing a letter.
Way more effective than watching a Coronet film.
It was this.
Number 150. What is Nothing from August 26th, 2011.
You know what nothing is? What? It's what's left when you've eaten the last cookie.
Oh, so it's a feeling of deep, deep shame.
Nothing is what the creators of the short should have done instead of creating What is Nothing. Originally riffed during the Jack the Giant Killer live show, here we see 2 mop-topped little boys trying to figure out the definition of the word nothing. I guess they saw the last short as they head to the dictionary for help, but apparently that's not enough for them, as they continue to find nothing in everything.
What's that?
January in Minnesota.
More nothing. That's not nothing. There isn't.
It's the last thing an Indy 500 driver sees before crashing.
Poor kids don't know what to do with themselves since getting out of prison.
It's what you think of when you try to think of what is nothing.
Sure. Huh?
Yes, nothing's nothing but a word.
Sure not worth making a short film about.
Here it is. Let me read it.
Patriotic sneakers. They drive children to madness.
Brought to you by the Committee to Stamp Out Patriotic Sneakers.
Significant. Absence of anything that which has no...
And that was the day time froze. I hope the nothingness consumes us after Sesame Street.
This plods along for several minutes, with the boys continually sounding both drugged and as if they just figured out how words work. And the director must have decided that a short about nothing better have something of the mildest interest about it, so he got all artsy by playing ominous music that fits even less here than in the Eggs to Market short.
Did David Lynch direct this?
There, now the caterpillar will stop emitting bad experimental music.
Why'd you do that?
Caterpillars matter to caterpillars.
That would be his senior yearbook quote. Did they just fall in love?
So nothing is 2 minus 2. And 3 minus 3.
And the number of critics who like the Green Lantern movie.
Man, nothing sure is a lot of things, isn't it? Just about as many as you want it to be, I guess.
Can nothing be the amount of money I owe you, Mike?
It cannot.
Damn lying kids!
Nothing's what's left when a balloon pops.
Nothing's what's left when Binkles the dumpster clown eats your soul.
Hey!
Thank God I'm free! I'm gonna go find some happy kids!
It's all that space between the stars. Man, that's a lot of nothing.
Official state motto of Kansas.
This short is definitely worth more than nothing, and it gets a 2.5 out of 5.
Nothing's what you learn in school some days.
Such is the day they show what is nothing.
As always, thank you all so much for watching, and special thanks to my fantastic Patreon supporters, including Jackie Ball, Kevin Atta, and Jill Johnson. And like I said in the opening, it's so great to hit another milestone in these videos. However, it's time to mix it up a little. I'll still be making this series, that's for sure, but we're going to add a new series to the Faith's Take lineup. I'm going to finally start reviewing every Rifftrax VOD. I've been wanting to start tackling them for a while, and I'm finally going to jump in with those after my next MST review. And that's not all. I'm finally going to do another episode of Versus, where I'll be talking about the MST3K and Rifftrax takedowns of Jodan Baker's Final Justice. I was originally going to wait a while before discussing these, but after watching the Rifftrax a couple weeks ago, we need to have words. And finally, I'm working on my first Patreon requested video. Yes, Jackie Ball, who's always been supremely generous to me, has become even more so, and after upping her pledge, I'm going to make a video of her choice. So I'll be giving my rankings of all 8 feature-length Muppet films, from The Muppet Movie to Muppets Most Wanted. So as you can see, I've got a lot of new things in the pipeline, and I can't wait to get them all out there. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.
It's time for